Dzień dobry Państwu. Wybiła 18, wtorek, zatem tradycyjnie już spotykamy się na szkoleniu online, na wykładzie online, w webinarium prowadzonym wspólnie przez program English Teaching i Instalink. Zapraszam wszystkich do uczestnictwa. Dziś znów 60 minut z wyjątkowo ciekawym tematem. Trafiony niestety w punkt, zostaliśmy prawie wszyscy zamknięci pod kluczem. W związku z tym nowe technologie w przypadku lockdownu czy też nauczania zdalnego stają się powoli naszą codziennością i rzeczywistością. Dzisiaj naszą prowadzącą i gościem specjalnym jest Katarzyna Kiszka. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Pani Katarzyna, choć ta młoda twarz zupełnie na to nie wskazuje, to nauczycielka akademicka z ponad 20-letnim doświadczeniem, uczy, szkoli nauczycieli, jest egzaminatorką Cambridge, jest autorką podręczników i tłumaczką. To przede wszystkim z naszego punktu widzenia ceniona i wieloletnia trenerka programu English Teaching. Zapraszam wszystkich do uczestnictwa w dzisiejszym webinarium. Tradycyjnie już również proszę o wpisanie się na listę obecności. Adres do listy obecności widoczny jest teraz u dołu ekranu. Zaraz również zostanie wklejony na czacie, tak żebyście Państwo mieli dostęp do tego linku przez całe spotkanie. Przypominam, że widzimy się w 3 źródłach: na Facebooku English Teaching, Instalink oraz na kanale YouTube Instalink. Pani Katarzyno, zaczynamy.
Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much for such nice introduction. I'm very happy, as usual, with Nida and with other people mentioned, with other organizations mentioned. I'm very happy to be here. However, I'm unhappy that I cannot see you. I hope you see me well, and I hope you can hear me well. And I hope that technology will be with us all the time. Unfortunately, as it was mentioned, we were thinking about it. It was people were hoping, teachers were hoping we may stay at school. I had known earlier we would not. So let's kick off. I wouldn't like to spend more time saying about such things. I'd like to turn to practicalities as usual. Those of you who've met me during our workshops with Nida, you know that I'm rather down to earth, so I'll try to do it this way. I'd like only to mention that if I'm saying something which you consider to be obvious, I'd like to say sorry, but sometimes when you don't know how to start, you don't know how to take the step further. So if I'm going to say something which you think goes without saying, forgive me. So that's our reality. Since March, many of us have been simply teaching online. That includes me. Of course, March and April meant extremely sharp learning curve for students, for us. We were uncertain, we were worried, we were confused. Unfortunately, this hasn't changed much. Well, in theory, it's supposed to look as in the picture, that everybody's smiling, that everybody can see one another, that people hear one another. Reality sometimes resembles more of a seance, like in this dialogue where the teacher is checking, are you there? Unmute yourself. Hi, where are you? Take your PJs off. Could you go out of bed? And it goes like this, unfortunately for us. And today I'd like to talk about such aspects as well, about practicalities. I wouldn't be myself if I didn't try to look at the bright side, however. Now, if you try to look at the bright side, I got in touch with some colleagues, some of my friends as well. People mention no commuting or no taking your own kids to school means that you can sleep longer. Many women say, my skin is finally resting. Being dressed down, at least below the camera level, that's definitely the bright side of it. Thanks to those, we can learn new things. Many of my students declared they had taken up new activities, sometimes even sports, of course, such ones that you don't do as a team. Adding to advantages, I would mention my own advantage. I like to eat a lot. So being able within short break to prepare something, all my family, we've been, cooking since the beginning, everybody really progressed. And two fellows you can see in the picture, these are members of the family as well, a senior cat and a young dog. They definitely will be unhappy if pandemic finishes quickly. But seriously speaking, we simply don't know how long it's going to last. We can only hope that the vax would be found. I don't know. But if we stay for longer as we may, I would like to concentrate today on such practical aspects of remote teaching and remote learning, which I grouped into three categories. I'll try to remind you of what category it is and so on, but basically I'll talk about us, meaning teachers, and technology, both online and offline, about students. It's not a coincidence that the minion is yawning, because for us, technology is very often, wow, something fantastic. I keep repeating to my students, if I had the possibilities and opportunities they have now, I would have learned 4 languages. But students and technology, we say, look at this app, it's fantastic. And they go like, yeah, maybe, fine. So I would also like to give you a few tips, such ones that have worked with me, how to go on, how to face this reality. Okay, that's my plan. First, I'd like to say, those of you who have met me, you know that I'm an optimist. And my first question would be, why should we state, like from the beginning, why to take it as a given that work has to be hard and our workplace stressful? Of course, being in a room instead of the classroom is difficult itself, but we can always turn it into something which will not be so very bad. And I'd like to start with something which is a general rule for me, not only for e-lessons, that we have to have a goal. And by this, I mean not only the general goal, I'm going to prepare my 8th graders for exam fantastically, my Matura students, or my, 4th grader who had problems before. I mean, every lesson should have a goal. And of course, the goals should be, it's like some sort of dream with a deadline. And dreams are there to come true. And the first thing I would like to mention is managing time. I remember a few years ago, we had the workshop about time management. It was extremely popular. Many teachers declared then that at our schools, considering the system we work with and considering now the conditions under which we work, it's a bit like working for a corpo, of course, with the difference that our income is, well, I will be diplomatic, slightly smaller, but we have to learn how to manage our time. And nowadays, people do not want to say, I have some time. They very often are totally busy and all the time busy, however, being utterly inefficient. What I mean is that we do not have to be busy to be productive. And I'd like to talk about long-term goals and short-term tasks that we should take into consideration. The next slide is only for those of you who were not present during this training about time management, because I like to mention the rule which is well known to business people. That's the so-called 80-20 rule or Pareto principle. I'll come back to this slide in a second because it's easier to explain it using the wardrobe. Almost everybody, not only women, when we look at the contents of our wardrobe, we would find out that for 80% of time, we wear 20% of the clothes we have, either because they are favorite or because they are most suitable for the weather conditions, for the occasion, and so on. Same rule refers to, this is what Pareto discovered. He stated that there is reverse relationship to input and output. In simple words, in simple terms, it's like 80% of our results, which is really vast majority, come from just 20% of activities. What it means? It means that we have to prepare to-do lists, but Of course, I don't mean literally that everybody several times a day, once a day, has to sit with a pencil and jot down lists or to-do lists. It could be done mentally, like preparing things that we have to do, even just mentally, and then choosing 3 to 4 priorities, put them on the top of the list. And these are so-called high-impact tasks, those that are responsible for this 80% of the result. And that helps us as well, because rather than, feel like, I put here like spinning our wheels, but actually it can even resemble headless chick. Instead of this, we feel focused and accomplished. I know that easier said than done, but I have to say that with practice, it made me calmer on an everyday basis. So now a few tips, just in case this had to stay with us for longer. Okay, I'd like to start with such tips and rules which refer to us as teachers. Because we work with the kids and teenagers, I thought about the most important rule to make up for this time we do not spend with them in the classroom. We have to be available, we have to inform them, and we have to stay in touch. What it means, this situation is stressful for everybody. Parents very often are not aware what's going on. In order to make it easier, to facilitate the whole process of hybrid schooling, we have to be all the time in touch. I'll also give you a few tips how I do it or how to do it, of course, depending on the age of the children and how much time you want to spend on it. But we have to learn, for example, about special needs. At the uni I work, for example, we have students who had problems with equipment. University provides them with equipment. They can, honestly, very many of them who simply didn't want to use cameras or mics said that they don't have this. It turned out that when the university offered, they said, okay, I'll try to sort it out myself. But I'm talking about serious special needs. There are really, as you already very well know, there are problems in families we don't even know about. And this is something that I think it needs really handling with care, because this ISO situation is like that kids, it doesn't matter how old they are, it influences us and them the same way. We are uncertain. In many situations, there are problems with jobs, disconnection from friends, and this is, psychologically speaking, this is a difficult situation. So what to start with? I'd like to underline that I'm also talking using the experience of my children, teenagers. It is better now, but March was awful. My kids were looking for things like, where's the meeting? Where's the lesson? Do we meet on Teams today or maybe Zooming? And where's the homework? Did she put it on Mobirek? Did she put it in Quizlet? What do we do? They were totally confused. A lot of tasks were neglected by them because of this. Hence this kind of appeal, it must be clear. Even if your school hasn't signed one agreement with, let's say, Teams or Zoom or whatever, I think it's good to have some sort of colleague agreement that those kids do not wander in PJs in the morning and they are, thinking, where now? What do I do? Peer observation. If you still feel a bit like uncertain or not confident enough, I have problems with checking my body language. I am all the time using hands. I can't stop it. If you have a friendly ear and a friendly eye among your colleagues, I suggest allowing them to see at least a fragment of your online lesson. If you can, of course, trust somebody, if you can trust that those people will advise you in a friendly way. To avoid too much, too many, web pages, apps, and so on, I would like to show you one of the first things. I will start with big things and then I will turn to more detailed things. So the one I'd like to show you, this is a web mix, and it's something where you can consolidate apps, web pages, and so on. It's called Symbaloo. I'd like to warn that there'll be a little bit of fiddling now. I have to disconnect and connect again. I hope it's going to work. Okay, I will share with you now. All right. You should see it now. I hope you do. You yourself can create, you can add a new tile here. It's a very convenient form of tiles. Actually, this one is called Students and Teachers. And you give them names. I've got Students 2020, I've got Legal English. So when you find a web page which you find really cool and you would like to use it, or a web or an app, or even a video, you can either do it by clicking. You add a title here. You can look for it here, or you can just bring the address with you. The moment you start, it's immediately showing you where to put it, what names to give you. I would say it's intuitively done. And then the link with Symbaloo, with this web mix that you want to use, is given to the group you presented it to or you prepared it for. Okay, I'm coming back. I hope it's all right. You should, okay. I hope you can see me. Another way of organizing articles, web pages, tweets, songs, you name it. Of course, there are several of them, I know. There is a Padlet. Padlet, some of the parts of Padlet are paid now, but Wakelet is another. This is, okay, again, I will have to do this clicking. I hope you are patient enough. Okie doke. Right, so this is what I'd like to say. You probably see it here because this is an extension to Google Chrome. Okay, when you look here, they are here. One of them is Wakelet, and you either have collections like this one of mine, environment. You can see films. There is a PDF file and so on. And you can edit collection, obviously, you can share it. You can, of course, move it and you can make it public. You can invite people to do it with you, and you can make it available to students. I have also, advanced reading text here for biology students. So it gives you this possibility of putting many things in one place, okay? Let me come back to the presentation. Okay, share screen. I'm trying to do it quickly, but okay. All right. Now, so this is this browser extension to Chrome, helping organize articles, web pages, tweets, and so on. Now, if you have to create lessons yourself, because of course there are hundreds and hundreds of possibilities. There are learning apps, there is Installing mentioned, there is Nearpod. I'd like you to remember one thing. Choose the one you feel the best with. Choose the one you feel happy with. It's not too difficult for you. If this is Installing, fine. If this is Nearpod, if this is learning apps, whatever you choose, but you have to feel good. You have a lot of support, for example, in Installing. It's fantastic. But anything you choose will be yours. Remember that there are endless tutorials where you can learn more about the functions, about the possibilities. I'd like to show you Wiser Me because I've been working for very many years already at the university where I work. I've been working with Moodle. It is not intuitive at all, but Wiser Me has got similar possibilities with much, much easier interface. Let me move you there. I'll try to do it. Okay. I hope that everything is working, because if not, I don't have any signal. Please scream to me you're talking nonsense or something, or we don't see if you don't see. This is pretty obvious what you see, because first of all, when you start creating a lesson or worksheet, you see progress here. It starts with create and edit. I have prepared it earlier. So let me scroll down. Here are tasks. You've got open question, which is of course the least convenient, multiple choice blanks. You've got matching. I didn't use other ones. There are such ones which are paid, but I never thought about it. Of course, you can fiddle with backgrounds, you can fiddle with fonts and so on. If you want, in editing, you can either write instructions to your students, okay, for your students, or you can audio a question. So you can record, please read, or, you know, you can do it this way. You yourself choose those words in the text that you want to use as blanks, okay? And then when it's done, you decide how they are organized. You can also have, you know, like every single one can have different instructions. Then it's scrolled down, it goes like this. You set point value at each, with each activity. Then it goes to review, then you assign it to learners. Of course, you can share it. I don't have to add that there are hundreds and hundreds of them which are ready, but I prefer to prepare this one for my law students because, I mean, not very advanced group, but that was about, you know, hunting laws or the way Swiss vote about anything. So that's, let me come back. Okay, I hope you can see it. Okay, learning apps, I probably don't need to present to anybody. Hang on, I'll try to do it fast, sure. And again, share. Right. Honestly, I don't make lessons here myself. I simply choose the ones which are there. It's organized into categories, as you see, all categories. If you choose English, you've got, I don't know, culture, animals, you've got body parts, business English. You've got many, many collections here to be used by your students. And again, coming back, if this is too much in one go, remember, it can be also added as one activity to your Symbaloo, to your WebMix, or to your any way or any app you want to use to organize things for your students. Again, coming back to the same thing, that they cannot have too much in one go. Okay, I hope I'm back. Okay, now I'd like to turn to something which might be used to make our lessons interesting. Some of those apps or activities can be also shown to our students. Every teacher, including me, of course, loves to delegate some responsibility to students because that helps them build this kind of independence. They are independent learners. I don't have to probably present lyrics training to anybody because it's been there for ages. But what they did now, I don't know when it happened, probably during, even before pandemic, but they made it much more user-friendly, okay? Meaning that they added now even karaoke. So this can be, and now how it can be used. Of course, it can be used during your lesson. It could be used during your online lesson that you designate one student as a DJ who's doing the typing for everybody, or you, I don't know, you ask students to do one song and send you the print screen of the results, or they, for fun, can simply use it as karaoke. Those of you who used it, you know that while the song goes, maybe I'll try to do it. Maybe not this one. I don't know, so-called, whichever. Okay, so you see here, you see the lyrics, and the number of dots represents the number of missing letters. The song doesn't go further if the word is not written.
I found a love for.
So a DJ probably would type now, I found a love.
For me, darling, just dive right in.
Okay, so this is how it goes. As you see, I didn't put anything, it stopped. Those of you who haven't done it yet, you can always press backspace, because this way you come back to the line that wasn't ready. And it has this fantastic possibility now of karaoke. Of course, fantastic, not for me, but for students. Students get really excited about it. Okay, let me come back. Yes, me after this. Karaoke, not really. Okie doke. All right, another one, which is, I use it a lot with a bit more advanced groups. It's called Youglish. This is, I mean, the idea is that it's supposed to be used for pronunciation. Let me show you. But I don't use it only for this. I simply use it as an alternative dictionary, because it, all right, that should do. Okay, look, first of all, you have a choice. You can use all results from YouTube, as they say, to improve your English pronunciation. You could choose American, British, or Aussie, whatever you prefer. Australia, fine. I choose all. And like today, at one of the lessons, there popped up the word a host of. Students were not quite familiar with this meaning.
By a host of physical laws and principles. So in our scientific experiments, while we...
Okay, so as you see, we have 1 out of 4,300 results, and they are all from YouTube. And you see them in context. Let me play another one.
Food stamp benefits, to Medicaid eligibility, to child support collections, and a host of other programs in between.
While there were certainly a host of problems, there was a general attitude in the community and the college.
Okay, this is called Youglish. I'd like to say that in the presentation, you have all the names with short, like, piece of description, that this is something to practice this or that, just in case after today you forgot what I was talking about. Okay, let me come back. Now, those teachers who prepare students for Matura and so on, very many years ago, there was a fantastic application called MailView. Unfortunately, it stopped existence. It was extremely easy to use, idiot-proof. You just recorded something and immediately send it via email. But now, when you prepare your students for the speaking part of the exam, what to do? Sometimes of course, it could be shooting your own foot, because if you ask 45 students to send a short description, you listen, for ages. But anyway, it could be done even if they work in pairs. Now, why is it good? There are, of course, many apps for speaking, but this one is pretty good. And this one is pretty easy to use, simply because, let me show you, it is literally one button. So you press it, you say something, that wasn't much, and then you save, and then you send it, you can download it, you can copy it, and send it to your teacher. One button, okay? I know there are many of them. This is simply one of them, but I wanted to show you that one. Okay, let me go on. Okay, I hope I'm back. Right. I don't think I need to present ESL Lab to very many of you, but I'd like you to, because it's been long here with us. But what I'd like to say is that it's still there. I think it's more and more interesting. It's got this special kind of categorizing. Hang on. I'm there, hopefully. Yes, so you have it. You have division of activities into levels, of course. Also some self-study guides. You have basic ones. You have, for almost everyone is organized such no-nonsense way. You have pre-listening exercise. You have difficult phrases, in chunks, put there explained. They are never terribly long. You play the listening, you have immediately.
Hey Tim, so are you doing some last minute shopping before the weekend?
It's always authentic. You have questions to it. Students who like to work themselves do it. You've got post-listening exercises, multiple choice questions, and so on. You see the script if you want. You don't see it. It's nonsense, no nonsense. Really easy to use, really easy to navigate. As you see, it has changed a little bit. The name it's now called Rundles. But whatever, I like it. It's been here for so long with us that I'm glad it's still being used. All right, I hope I'm back. Now, that was about sounds. In a second, I'll put sounds and images together, but image as well. Why images are pretty important, especially those two apps. Simply because, we've been here for quite a long time already with those kids and teenagers who think in pictures. And the picture of the little girl confused at the computer that I showed you a few slides ago was also prepared by me in this Phrase It. This is an online speech bubble maker. Again, let me show you. There you go. So you can either upload, it's called Phrase It. You don't have to sign up. You can either upload photo from your device, or you can use random pictures. The thing you only do is that you drag the image. Maybe too big, okay. All right. You drag the image and you write whatever you want, okay. And that's it. Preview and save, all right. And now you can keep it private. You can email it to yourself. You can send it for everybody to see. That's all. As you see, not much to be done. Uploading your own picture, of course, is a good idea. There isn't much choice of what they offer, but still, I think possible to use. So that's Phrase It. This generator of memes, all right. This is also, hang on, because I think I haven't done it yet. Share screen. And again, there you go. Of course, yeah. So you either upload new template or you use the ones which are here. Yes, as you see, there are very many of them. And what you do is you write the text. Whatever you want, okay? You have such ones, you have such ones. So your text is changed and transferred somewhere else. You see other ideas people had, and then you can either use it private or create it anonymously, or you simply, if you want to remove the watermark, of course you have to pay. And it's done, that's all. I have my own, which I created some time ago. And okay, I will not show you, it doesn't matter. But this is how it goes. Because we would have, again, to click and click, so no way. Right, that's about images. Another one that I used during lessons, or sometimes ask students to prepare it as homework, in order to make the task a bit more practical. Let me show you. That's simple Google Earth, nothing more advanced, nothing more fancy schmancy, but simple Google Earth. Now, what to do with it? Of course, endless possibilities. Probably it's switched on here, showing you Ziołowa Street, Katowice, which is a tiny little street at my place, because during the lesson, we were talking about bread we buy on everyday basis. And I hope it's going to send us there, and it's going to happen there. Okay, I will do it again. I think it doesn't look like Żałowa, Katowice, but maybe. No, I think I'm somewhere else. Okay. Okay, I will show you something else then. Maybe somebody from Białystok is with us, so you should be happy. That's what happens. I know I was in Pula because that was another one my student was talking about holidays. Okay, so sharing screen. And of course, I don't mean reading, I mean taking the little creature. And let's say that you are guys from Białystok and you want to ask students to tell everybody, for example, where there is their favorite shop, where they go when they want to, I don't know, rest, where they want to have fun with friends, what they used to do before pandemic started, and so on. And this is when students share and they say, if you go past this shop, you will immediately have to turn right. So for directions, for descriptions, for names of things, it's like a very positive way of sharing screen, simply because us locked down have again this kind of sensation of traveling, of course a bit artificial, but still. All right, let me come back. Okay, I hope something is happening slowly. Oh, okay, Google Chrome. Something is happening. I don't know if you are with me, if I am with you, but it's probably like too many things. Okay, hang on, too many things are happening. Technology. I got lost. I mean, not me, but my Google Chrome said, sorry, mate, I don't want. Are you there? I'm sorry, but okay. Am I back? I hope. Something happened. And I hope you still can see me. Okay, so we are not touching Google Earth again. Royal UK. I don't really have to present this webpage. There's always something positive happening. Beautiful pictures, fantastic English. If you need students to talk to, definitely equally exciting as Celebrities Live. I'd like to say that I don't really need to present Jamboard to those of you who use extensions to Google Chrome. If you don't do it, maybe I will try to do it. I hope you are back. It was funny what happened. Really don't know. I didn't touch anything. I didn't. Okay. This is to be used as a board. If you, of course, like it, of course, it could be also done such a way. This is, this is my the very beginning of my presentation. I was telling you about the goal without the plan, which is just a wish, and so on. You, of course, can draw. Jesus Christ! You can draw things. You can put notes. You can place text there. You can finally either save it as a picture or download it as a PDF, and then it's your paper file for students or PDF file. And I'd like to say that it also works as an extension to Google. So you can add it here and it's there, okay? But I'm sure that most of you know it. I don't have to. Again, it's very easy to use, intuitive. Okay, so that's about Jamboard. Now, sound and image is video. And I'd like to share with you something which I haven't been using for long, but I really like it. It's called Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle allows you to create your own test where you upload a video and you put there questions while watching. And the questions, of course, prepared by you, stop the video, and when students answer, they can go on watching. I'll show you how it works. Again, it's extremely easy to work with. Okay, this is that puzzle. You must be familiar with Ellen. She had problems. There's a film. It's 2 minutes 45, and that's what happens. I'd like to say that those little droplets, these are my questions. They are all multiple choice. You can assign it, edit, duplicate. If you want duplicate, you can make it public, you can make it private, as with all those things, all right?
I feel the same way about you. Thanks so much.
This morning, Ellen DeGeneres apologizing, writing in a letter to her talk show staff. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness. Obviously, something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case, and for that, I'm sorry. It comes just days after a source close to the production confirmed to NBC News that anonymous reports alleging a toxic work environment led Warner Media to launch an internal probe into the award-winning daytime series.
Thank you, most of you.
My name is on the show and everything we do, and I take responsibility for that. Ellen says I'm...
Okay. And it stopped now because this is where I put the question. The question is like this. The report of toxic environment was anonymous or from a close producer? Normally, if that was a nice room where we had our workshop, I would get you involved and ask you to answer. I know that you were watching attentively and it was anonymous. So let's submit it and we can go on, okay? Because the question was answered correctly. All right? And it goes like this.
Thank you, most of you.
My name is on the show.
So short film that you upload and then put questions of your own, all right, for students. I don't have to describe Voice of America to anybody, plenty of stuff, videos and so on. I don't think I have to present this one, those audio and video lessons, but I wanted especially to pay attention to Edpuzzle, simply because this is something which is extremely exciting if you have to work with original, vocabulary with, if you, for example, work with students at a bit higher levels or if you need to use authentic texts. Finally, I would like to turn to totally time-saving and friendly tools, ultimate tools, time savers, my top favorite ones. Very simple addresses. This is a bit harder, I will show you, but the address, the tool is as easy as can be. Now, what do we do? A bit more clicks, and it should be there. Now, what is important here? You have to remember, okay, part of it is paid. I don't pay for anything, all right? What you have to pay attention to is lists, okay? And my lists. Of course, there are other ones. You can use other people's work, but this is yours. And what you do and how you do it, actually, I think I will try to show you the way it might be done. I don't know what you're seeing now, but probably not much. But any text that you found somewhere, I was recently reading about Iga Świątek, so I tried to do it. Okay, so I have a text ready. I found an interesting text about Iga Świątek, who was helped a lot by my lists again, and this is now what you want to do. This is your vocabulary lists, yes. And when you create a new one, new list, and what happens now? You can type or paste a list of words you want to learn, up to 100 pages. Oh no, I thought I copied it, but I didn't. Hang on. Okay, no, technology. If you want to do things in a hurry, this is what happens. Okay, so we have a short text from some, I don't know, Yahoo article. And now look what it does for you. I clicked next, and it chooses a list of words that they consider to be interesting to learn. I would eliminate such things like psychologist because I think it's too easy. I would maybe add credit, okay? And then you can either, of course, you should give it a title. Okay, and you can do learn 10 words. So you can, it asks you questions. It prepares questions with multiple choice answers. What's the process? Yes, it's to process, sorry, because it's a verb here. Perform mathematical and logical operations on give an informative reply, to delay or postpone, protect against a challenge or attack. Maybe this one, let's check. And it's correct. So it gives you more definitions, it gives you more context, and this is how it goes. It goes through them all. I'll try now to come back, because other options you have on the lists. Hang on, my lists. Okay, another one is spelling bee. And spelling bee
Mental.
teaches spelling. Okay. Additionally, you have a vocabulary list and definitions of it. So you assign it for your students, you prepare it for them, then they enter it and they do the test. It could be, of course, used as well if you have ambitious students, if they cooperate like this, that they prepare something for group mates and so on. In my opinion, fantastic tool. Hang on. Okay. And now this one. Another one for another time saver. Hang on, I have to go there with you because now I can only see it. I hope you see it. In a second you will. It even looks too easy. So what you can do, of course, word search, puzzle, scrambled words, and so on. My favorite, absolutely top favorite, is gap fill. Title, Iga Świątek. Enter a list of questions. That's what I did. Now, what happens next? Now, and again, you see the progress, what's going on.
Pani Katarzyno, proszę udostępnić okno, w którym pani pracuje.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. I thought you followed, but you didn't. I'm sorry. So this is what happened. When I pressed, I'm sorry, I thought it followed. When I pressed next, it just created the text. And now you decide yourself. For example, for example, to win, for example, confident, for example, up. It depends on what you are testing. Nerves of steel, and so on. Well, let's just, it's just a test. So now you press, okay, I will do it again. Next again, probably you don't see what I see. Hang on. One more time, because you lost it. I press next, and nothing happens. I hope you will see it now. No, not again. Hang on. Not this one. Right. No, again, not this one. Hang on. I don't know why. All right. You have to believe me. No, I will try again. I'm not giving up so easily. Oh, so this is what happens next. You see, we went through enter, title, and text, interactive gaps adder. I chose something, and now it asks you what you want to show. Don't show words, show only first letters, show only spaces, show spaces along with the first letters, maybe like this. So this is your result. And what is left? Print. That's all. In my opinion, it's a dream thing. When I work a lot with authentic materials, it's a dream thing for me. Additionally, preparation of tests, lasts like no time. Let me come back. Okay, so these are my top favorite teacher-friendly tools. Another one, which is again for a bit more advanced groups, this is words to use, .com. Again, I will be with you in a second because I can see it now, you don't. Okie doke. Right. And this is words to use. This is lists of vocabulary. Look, we have, I don't know, colors, business, arts, entertainment, let's say dogs. And dogs, you have it, it's just groups of words to be used. If you're running out of ideas, you want your students to write something, and you have adjectives connected with dogs. Eager to please, correct nouns. You have negatives. You have phrases. You have even quotes. You have verbs connected. Food, beverages, fruit and vegetables, fruit-filled, fruit types, dried fruit, negatives. Instead of looking for yourself, this is here ready. So I like it as a prompt for speaking, as a good source of vocabulary when we prepare writing together, or when I'm really, kind of running out of ideas, what to use as a warm-up. Okay, I'm coming back, hopefully. Okay, now, the biggest problem during pandemic, and I haven't realized that you didn't see me or you didn't see the web page, is the lack of interaction. This is really, really a tough problem. This is, in my opinion, the hardest to cope with. And what I'd like to say that what we miss, teachers of languages in general, is the possibility of working in groups. I'd like to say already now, without too much clicking, that my tool I use, because the university signs such agreements, I use Teams. But within Teams, for 5 minutes of not every lesson, but every second, not to make it too obvious, I'm simply preparing a link of Zoom, a short Zoom meeting. Now, what is important is that if you want to make your students work in groups or pairs, you can in Zoom prepare breakout rooms, groups of 2-3 people, how many you want. But the important thing is that you have to prepare it. You have to unclick it in your settings, your profile settings. When you start an account in Zoom, in your settings, this is this slide, you have to change it. You have to modify it, because normally the settings from the beginning do not allow hosts to split meetings. And here you can do it. And now here is a slide from my today's lesson. This is what it looks like when you organize those. So once again, you just paste a link to Zoom meeting to your students and you say, join me in 5 minutes, switch off your mics in whatever you're working, let's say Teams. Then they have ready mics in Zoom. You break them. Now you have this option, which is called break. It's got, you see it at the bottom bar, breakout rooms. You decide how many rooms, and there are 2 options. One is automatic, that means random rooms, but you can do it yourself. If you know that, I don't know, Alicia and Zuzia will be talking about fashion, you pair them differently. I always do the random choice because I work with older students. And while they are talking, you have the possibility of broadcasting a message to them all. At the beginning, I'm sometimes reminding them of what the task was. Okay, it sends them as a message. Usually minute 3, I'm sending them a message, speak English, please. You can join each room. You can check whether they speak English, how they are doing, and so on. And the moment you close the rooms, there is some sort of warning for them. You have now 60 seconds to finish to prepare, the last questions and so on. Of course, having warned them that this is going to happen, they will know. So this is our job, again, to warn them how it's going to happen. And now, talking about engagement, because this is really a tough problem. This is what all the teachers now have been complaining about. I have to tell you how I do it. I simply introduce rules. I will share with you with the slide of my first meetings, which took place last 2 weeks ago with my groups. This is what I told them. First of all, notifications off. I was even showing them my telephone. I said, guys, I have it, but we are not, Donald Trump. We don't have to be 24/7 with notifications on. Notifications are distracting you. You see this blinking light and so on. This is also something we have to communicate with the parents. Ask them, take their telephones or make them leave telephones in the kitchen. They don't have them during lessons. Be active and focused. True, you completely miss the social part of living now, but at least do not waste this time you can learn. What I mean, and I explained this to students, keep your learning community happy. I was telling them, look, if we are doing an activity and suddenly I'm telling you, let's turn to exercise, let's turn to, next sentence. And somebody who is not focused is looking, which sentence, which activity, which book, where are we? This is upsetting, slowing everybody down, and in my opinion, impolite. So that's what I make very, very clear to them. Additionally, ask if you don't understand. Give a shout. I may have had, signal problems. There could have been some problem. This is just technology. Solutions for technology, for too much of everything. Of course, we cannot teach less, but we have to, as a result of this pandemic, teach only relevant things. What I mean is that all those nice to know, funny to know things, not now. Unfortunately, but not now. We have to be ultra simply direct. Repeat everything. Don't believe students when they nod. So what to do? Błażej, can you repeat? Asia, so what do we do now? They nod, they smile, but very often they don't follow. Same as this less relevant things, those learning modules have to be really easy to digest. And how to make lessons sexier? Of course, images. I believe in objects, images. Let's talk about cooking. This is a cup, this is a mug, and so on. Objects and words and images can be worth 1,000 of words. Of course, if you don't want to use any of those I've said, use PowerPoint presentation, but not like I use it now, but in the working form. Use it as your board. Type it. Prepare something before. You will not feel stressed. You will not feel too busy, but happy and, also focused. With younger kids, with teenagers, assign time for foolishness. I did another thing. Apart from this list of rules I showed you just a second before, I also prepared a questionnaire for them to have an ace up my sleeve. They are young, they miss, social contact. So I asked them, your favorite apps, your favorite games, and so on. And then when you see that situation is harder, they do not follow, you can talk about, their favorite apps to listen for listening to music and so on. Obviously make them laugh. I will show you how I make my students laugh. That was our previous semester. We had, for example, the word of the week. 1 week it was a COVIDiot, yes. Another week it was quarantini, which is a cocktail that you drink while quarantine. It can be plenty of vitamin C, but also nice things in it. But COVIDiot as really whatever you want. I had the word of the week. Of course, dear teachers, watch out. I know it's wishful thinking for teachers who work with hundreds and hundreds of people now, but we have to be careful. We shouldn't follow suspicious links. We should update our software regularly. There are plenty of things which are either cheap or for free. So, be careful with your equipment. The school is not going to pay for it. And once again, technology is okay, but do the things that you know best, okay? So it could be Teams and Zoom, PowerPoint presentation as a board, support it with something that you are more familiar with. Don't feel stressed that you didn't know some of those things I used today. Use the ones that will make you happy and students happy. If you are the teacher controller, of course, you can prepare Google Docs as notebooks for your students if you want to control them. I don't know if you wanted, you can simply check what they, it could be important, I don't know, 8th graders. I really don't know if you want to do it, but it's possible. And stay in touch with kids and parents. Such apps as Installing, for example, give you this opportunity. This is for parents. This is ultra facilitating the whole procedure. But it's really up to you. You can boil it down to Messenger group or WhatsApp group with parents of your kids, because they have to stay informed all the time. I like to, as you see, I'm kind of finishing. This goes without saying. Happy mother means a happy child. But what about happy teachers? They create happy classrooms. And we, especially during pandemic, we cannot forget that learning is a bit more than just academic success. What I mean by this, it's also us. We are busy, we are running, we are extremely hardworking, but we have to look out after ourselves. So in your busy schedule, plan something for yourself. That's the role my daughter baked. That's the picture I took going for a walk. That was of course spring. I will show you another picture now, but I chose this one because it's greener. We have to make ourselves happy, and we have to remember about it. And before I finish, I'd like to say something which is pretty serious, but I think it's important. That's this potential I've been always talking about during our workshops, that there's huge potential in us, in children as well, and in our students. And thank you. I'd like you to teach as happy people, and I hope that we will survive. This is a wish to myself, actually, that we go through it smoothly and sweet on the inside. Thank you very much. Not hear you. Unmute yourself. Oh, I think. Okay.
Dziękuję za podpowiedź. Teraz chwila na komentarze i pytania jeszcze mamy momencik. W trakcie prezentacji pojawiało się sporo różnych wypowiedzi, nazwijmy to, komentujących to, co widzimy. Pani Ania, wszystko super, sama używam wielu multimediów na lekcji, aplikacji, stron z quizami. Co z tego, jeśli nie współpracuje z nami technologia i zawodzi internet?
To jest prawda. To się dzieje niestety w każdym domostwie, to się może zdarzyć wszędzie. Ja powiem szczerze, myśmy mieli ogromne szczęście, bo po prostu mamy sztywne łącze, ale moi studenci też czasami rwą włosy z głowy. Jest to naprawdę trudne i tego się nie da przeskoczyć. Jedyne wyjście jest, że jeżeli Państwo macie taką sytuację, to co zrobił też uniwersytet, że bo studenci, wiadomo, pochodzą z mniejszych, większych miejsc. My dla tych, którzy się z tym borykają na co dzień, przewidujemy takich kilka miejsc, gdzie się do czasu, aż oni coś z tym swoim internetem zrobią, po prostu mogą przyjść, oczywiście z zachowaniem wszystkich tych reżimów sanitarnych obecnie, bo wiemy, że klawiatury trzeba przecierać i tak dalej, ale mogą przyjść i z tego korzystać, no bo tego nie przeskoczymy, proszę Państwa, to jest tak strasznie trudne, że nie możemy, prawda, zapewnić komuś internetu. Rzeczywiście część rzeczy jest wolniejsza i tak to działa, no, ale czarny ekran mnie się też zdarza, to czasami serwery siadają, czasami to nie my na to mamy wpływ, ale gdzieś coś po drodze się dzieje. Zresztą wszystko w tej chwili aż jest gorące od tej pracy, bo tak działają biura, działają instytucje, działają nasze szkoły, no i tak to wygląda, proszę Państwa.
Przenieśliśmy trochę nasze życie w świat wirtualny. Pani Jolanta, bardzo mi się podoba, ale zastanawiam się, po co nam standardowy podręcznik ćwiczenia, skoro jest tyle aplikacji? Czy naprawdę mamy uczniów ciągle stymulować? Co z tego im zostanie? Skąd na
nie
to...
Tak, już mówię, o co mi chodzi. Ja naturalnie nie działam w ten sposób, że nie działam bez podręczników. Wprost przeciwnie, podręczniki są ostoją. Oni z nimi zostają w domu, oni mogą z nimi pracować. Ja tak naprawdę chciałam Państwu zrobić taką esencję tego, czym można normalną, przeciętną lekcję chociażby ubarwić, dodać coś do niej. To jest wszystko, to nie jest tak, że to wszystko naraz, bo wtedy to jest takie troszkę, wiecie Państwo, ciasto z rodzynkami, czekoladą, bitą śmietaną i wszystkim naraz. To trzeba dozować. Podręcznik jest bardzo ważny. Ja tutaj absolutnie przy tym obstaję, bo on jest też takim namacalnym, rzeczywistym przedmiotem, do którego się przeciętne dziecko czy student musi zwrócić. Rodzice mają na to też wgląd, ale tak jak Państwu tam podawałam, jeżeli chcemy być bardzo tacy kontrolujący, możemy nawet na przykład te Google Docs zrobić jako ich zeszyty obecnie. To był to jest super, a oni mówią, ojej, no dobra, no i co z tego? Także nie, to Państwo znacie swoich uczniów najlepiej i po prostu to raczej były pomysły na przykład dla tych z Państwa, którzy musicie pracować z autentycznymi materiałami.
To cóż, myślę, że pora kończyć na dziś. Podsumowanie jednej z naszych uczestniczek jest świetnym końcem dzisiejszego spotkania. Super webinar, bank nowości dla mnie po powrocie z urlopu macierzyńskiego. Cieszymy się.
Też dwie.
Tak, zdarza się co jakiś czas lekkie przycięcie. Dziękujemy bardzo za fantastyczne spotkanie. No i myślę, do zobaczenia.
Ja Państwu serdecznie dziękuję za cierpliwość z tą technologią i z szalonym klikaniem. Nasi uczniowie też przez to przechodzą, także
dziękujemy raz jeszcze. Do zobaczenia za tydzień.